Hello, my name is Regina Becker, and I am an ESL teacher from Southern Elementary School in Colonial School District in Newcastle, Delaware. The purpose of this presentation is to give a general overview of what the Access 2.0 for ELLs is. All of the information in this presentation has been adapted from the WIDA website as well as the Colonial School District ELL Handbook. So, what is the Access for ELLs assessment? In general, it can be described as an English language proficiency assessment for ELL students in grades K through 12. It is administered every year to help school districts monitor English language development for ELL students. The assessment measures a student's ability to use and understand English within school settings. It focuses on 4 areas of language skills, which include listening. The assessment measures a student's ability to use and understand English within school settings. It focuses on 4 areas of language skills, which include listening, speaking, reading, and writing in English. So, who takes the Access assessment? Well, any student who has been identified as an English language learner, or ELL, is expected to take the assessment annually until they are able to score a composite score that is high enough for them to exit the ESL program. When students are enrolled in a U.S. school, the parent or guardian is asked to complete a home language survey. The home language survey provides the school with information regarding a student's home language and native language. This information is then given to the ESL teacher, who determines if further assessment of a child's English language proficiency is needed. If a student is then eligible for services, they will receive those services through the year before the Access assessment is given later on. So you might be wondering when your child will be taking the Access assessment. All parents and guardians of students will receive a notification letter that details the testing window for the school and state of their student. In general, this testing window will occur sometime between January and the end of March. However, the exact testing dates will be detailed on that letter. When it comes to actually taking the assessment, there are several types of administrations that are available to students depending on their specific and individual needs. Most students will take the Access for ELLs online, which is an assessment that is computer-based, and it is for ELL students in grades 1 through 12. The test administration can occur on an individual basis or in a small group setting, and the total test time is approximately 170 minutes. The Access for ELLs paper is a similar assessment, however, it is done completely with paper and pencil. It is available to students in grades 1 through 12. It just isn't as commonly used as the online version of the assessment. It can be administered individually or in a small group, and the total test time is about 185 minutes. The Kindergarten Access for ELLs is specifically designed for kindergarten age students. It is administered on an individual basis, and the total test time is 60 minutes. The Kindergarten Access is completely administered as a paper-pencil assessment. And finally, the 4th type of assessment used is the Alternate Access for ELLs. This assessment is designed for students who are dually tagged as both an English language learner as well as a student with a significant cognitive disability. It is geared for students in grades 1 through 12. It is administered as a paper-pencil assessment on an individual basis, and the total test time is approximately 80 minutes. On the next couple of slides, I'm going to talk just a little bit more about each of the assessments that are available to students in the Colonial School District. Once again, the Access 2.0 online for ELLs is for students in grades 1 through 12. It's a computer-based adaptive test that responds to student performance, meaning that it might get a little easier or a little bit more difficult depending on how the student is performing on the assessment. It can be administered in a group setting or individually, and this assessment is given every year to students in grades 1 through 12 who are ELLs. It tests students' language in the 4 language domains, including listening, reading, speaking, and writing. The kindergarten access for ELLs is a paper-based test that is individually administered to kindergarten ELL students in a game-like interactive format. This assessment measures the same language domains as the Access 2.0, but in a much more developmentally appropriate way. And finally, the alternate access for ELLs is a large print paper-based test that is individually administered to students in grades 1 through 12 who are dual identified as both an English language learner as well as a student with a significant cognitive disability. It is designed for ELLs who have disabilities that prevent them from meaningfully participating in access for ELLs online or paper. When students take the assessment, there are some universal tools that are available to all students that might help them a bit while taking the access assessment. However, students who are ELLs with a disability and an IEP or a 504 plan may be entitled to additional accommodations if they are listed in that plan. Some examples of these accommodations include extended response times or the use of assistive technology. The ESL teacher is responsible for communicating with the school's special education coordinators to ensure that the students with 504s and IEPs are receiving the necessary accommodations that are appropriate for their individual needs. Once the testing window closes, all of the paper-based and online assessments are sent away to be scored. Score reports will then become available towards the end of the school year and in some rare cases at the beginning of the following school year. The score reports are sent directly to parents as well as kept on file at school with the ESL teacher and are also put in a student's CUME folder. Information on how to interpret the score reports can be requested from the student's ESL teachers. This slide discusses how test scores can then be used. The first way that test scores might be used is to make decisions about ESL program entry and exit. Another way that test scores might be used is to inform classroom instruction and assessment for both the classroom teacher and the ESL teacher. Test scores might be used to monitor student progress annually in the area of English language development, and also to decide on staffing needs at individual schools to support ELLs. Test scores might be used to evaluate each district's language support programs, and of course to meet federal and state accountability requirements. Probably one of the most common questions that I receive as the ESL teacher is regarding how a student can exit the ESL program. In order for a student to exit the ESL program in Delaware, he or she must meet the following minimum score requirement that corresponds to the assessment that was taken. So for students who took the Access 2.0 or the Kindergarten Access, they must receive a composite proficiency level or PL of a 5.0 or higher on the Access assessment. The highest score is a 6.0. For students who take the alternate access, they must receive a composite proficiency level score of an A3 engaging or higher. Once a student does exit the ESL program at their school or within their district, there is a 2-year monitoring period during which the ESL teacher will contact the student's classroom teachers to make sure that they are making the necessary progress without ESL services. More information about this can be obtained from your child's specific ESL teacher. That brings me to the end of this presentation. However, if you still have any questions or concerns regarding the Access assessment that were not answered within this presentation, please feel free to contact your child's school ESL teacher. Thank you.